Can you hear? Boleh? Okay. Yeah, I was under the impression that actually you were all training to be da'i, but now I'm told that you're actually part of the class to learn. Can you all hear? Is this okay? To learn more about Islam. Um, Nevertheless, you will be speaking to people, your families, your friends, inshallah as well. Oh, sorry. My name is Firuzza. Um, I'm actually a retired communication professional. So I decided that, this is something that I love to do. It's my passion. My passion is actually communication. I thought it would be interesting, and I hope it would be interesting for you too as well, if I share a little bit of my knowledge. I'm sorry, I think is this the sound breaking up? Is it breaking up? It's okay? All right, okay. Because I hear it's breaking up. Now, this is actually the first time that I'm speaking to a group of Muslims, because normally I speak to other crowds. So it's also a learning experience for me, and I know that I will learn a lot also tonight. So tonight I thought I would speak on something which we call persuasive communication. You know, in communication, there are so many branches of communication. There's also presentations, which I realize now that many of you are quite far from that. But persuasive communication is something like, I have a message, and I'm not quite sure whether you want to receive it, whether you're in the frame of mind that I can convey the message. So, I need to do a little bit of analysis. Okay, do I really think this person is open to hearing my message? So this is what is called persuasive communication. Can someone just help me just go through it? Oh, this one. Yeah. Okay, show me which one? Left, right. Okay, so persuasive communication, and this is just a little bit of the theory. It's actually awareness, which is, I think many of you are probably in the upper quadrant there, which is awareness. Once you know what the facts are, then you will consider whether the facts make sense to you, and then many of you will then undergo this process called conversion. Now, conversion in this sense does not really mean reversion to Islam, but it actually means conversion to the message, whatever message. If I want to say that the world is round, I want to convince you that the world is round or is flat. Now, if I tell you it's flat, so I'm trying to persuade you to come to my understanding, which is the world is flat. Okay, so that's the word conversion. Now, once you are convinced that the world is flat, you become loyal to that idea, and then you will start to advocate. Similarly, in terms of Islamic messages, once you are convinced that you are on the way of the truth, then you will, by necessity, you will advocate. And then when you do that, you have to look at all these things, which is that you need to remove obstacles, which means obstacles of people that you actually meet. And then you want to build support for your idea. You want to change their perceptions, and then you want to influence their behavior. Does this make sense? Okay, so have any of you started speaking to family, friends about Islam? Yeah? Could you give me a little bit of what your experiences were?
This was my family.
Yeah?
Because we
Yeah.
had many logical contradictions.
Okay. Okay.
It wasn't an easy thing, and even it's not easy
Mm-hmm.
as we speak now, because I
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the challenge that I face often.
Okay.
Because sometimes not to react is difficult because when you're provoked in the sense that when people ridicule what you do.
Okay.
Yeah, but so I think this class is something very beneficial for me, inshallah.
Okay. Would you say that your father is open to hearing what you say, or is he like, okay, I don't want to listen to this?
No, no, he's very open,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, he believes that whatever he says or he shares,
Yeah.
that basically supersedes whatever I'm saying.
Okay, so he's not really convinced. He's like listening to you, thinking, okay, this is my son. I need to support him, but you know what? I hope he will just come back to where, my beliefs or
Yeah,
the beliefs that
because
you are.
he
Yeah.
feels that I don't see what he sees.
Okay.
And I, on the other hand, I
Okay.
feel that he doesn't see what I see.
All right. Okay. Understand. Thank you, brother. Anyone else? Your personal experiences. Surely one of you must have had a hostile reaction when you said that you were reverting to Islam or you were learning more about Islam. Does anybody have that? No? Would you say that most of you have had fairly good experiences? No? Sister, I know you're shaking your head, so can you please give me a little bit? Okay? Okay. So that's quite a sad reaction, yeah? Anybody else have a similar reaction? Thank you, sister. Anyone else have a similar reaction? How difficult it must have been to tell your father or your mother that, I have found a belief system which is for me. But I'm sorry, it's not your belief system anymore. So, can anyone give me another example? Chushai? Not ready? That's fine. We have basically 4 types of audiences. Friendly, which means that these are probably already Muslims, yeah? Or they are people who are willing to learn about Islam. So because they're friendly, when you speak to them, you merely reinforce their beliefs. Very easy, yeah? It's not that difficult. Now, indifferent. Indifferent are the people who say, whatever, whatever. I really don't care. Okay, so those are the people. Now, I would say many people are actually indifferent. Because many people, if they're not born Muslim, they would be involved in their own lives, busy with their own things, and really, unless it, impacts upon me, or if I fall in love with a Muslim boy or Muslim girl, it doesn't really matter. Who cares? So, you're indifferent. Uninformed could be good, could be bad. So, an uninformed person is somebody who might be open to that message. It's simply that that person has not had the opportunity or even met somebody who can maybe speak a little bit about the message. I know a lot of Muslims actually you feel like I don't really want to speak about it because you know what, if I speak about Islam, the other person may not like it, may get angry with me. So I don't want to open myself up to speak about Islam. But actually, if you don't do it, how do you know whether that person is simply waiting to know a little bit about Islam, but doesn't know how to ask you? Yeah. So the uninformed is a large segment of the population where you can actually speak about Islam. You can. Okay. The worst will be the hostile, which means that whatever you say, I'm not going to listen to you because you're talking a bunch of nonsense. What is this religion that comes from, 1400 years ago, and it doesn't mean anything to me? I'm not going to listen to you. That is the worst audience for you to talk to. I'm sure some of you will have had this kind of reaction. Not from your parents, maybe from your friends, maybe from other people as well. So this hostile group would be the ones that would be most difficult. Now, I'm just going to go straight to the next one, which is, this is a little bit of work that I want you to do. And it's actually a very difficult piece of work, because in 2 minutes, and I'm being very generous, okay? Very generous. Most people will give you 1 minute, not even 1 minute. Not even 1 minute. So I'm being very generous. In 2 minutes, I need you to think, if you meet somebody, these are the 2 questions that I want you to think about. How many people in this room? Here, 1, 2, 3. Okay. The sisters are on one side, the brothers are one side. Okay. Can I pass this? This is for the brothers. Okay? This is yours. And for the sisters, this will be yours. Can you just sort of group together, and yourself as well group together, and take 5 minutes, and then tell me, how are you going to come up with this? Can I just read out? Yeah? So for the brothers, you are speaking to a young man who is a student, who is a practicing Catholic. He is indifferent. But he could be hostile. You don't know. Okay, so that's your task. How do you speak to this particular person? Do you want to hold this? What does he or she know about Islam, and how do I connect with him? Okay? And then sisters, do you have the... Okay, for the sisters, I have a lady who is about 40 years old. She's a mother and a wife. She's uninformed. She has no time to listen to a lot of things. So she doesn't really know about Islam. Is she practicing any religion? No. She's not practicing any religion. She was born Christian, but she's not really practicing. Okay, so this is yours. So can I give you another 4 minutes and another 4 minutes, and then I want somebody from here to speak and somebody from there to speak. And if you don't volunteer yourselves, I shall volunteer you. Okay? All right. 4 minutes. Sure. By all means. In fact, I forgot to tell brother that it should actually be a U shape. Yeah. But I normally do my trainings when it's U shape, not classroom. Okay, remember, I shall volunteer you if you don't volunteer somebody from your group. Actually, you is it?
Yeah. And then learning this
Just started.
they are not the guy. Just don't have a Dutch.
A few of them. Which ones?
So you just pick all right.
Okay, 3 minutes. Each 3 minutes. Okay, I'm feeling very generous. I'll start 5 minutes. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and then go. Okay. Okay, saya bagi satu tip You see the thing is, does it? Okay. One tip is, when I speak to somebody, I have to connect to you. Okay? I have to find something which is common to you and common to me. Then then you will be more open to listening to me. So, as a wife and a mother, what is common? How can I connect to you? When you connect emotionally to people, it goes to the head. So connect the heart, it goes to the head. So that's my tip. Excuse me, excuse me. Nasib baik saya tak gemuk sangat. Salam. Why should this man listen to you though? You know, you're telling him all this, but why really, as a young man, as a student, why should he listen to you?
Getting back to that, I think what is important is the person who's going to introduce Islam needs to be friend with him and to do something
Yes.
which are common ground.
Yes, very true.
Assuming that is a blind spot. I mean, you know a little bit about religions. I think what's important is for us to get into him to do things which is not forbidden, but of course, religion-wise, you can't do what he's doing, right? So do any other things which have common ground. So once you've got that, you being friends with him, then I think you can slowly see about Islam on your beliefs. And
Very good.
I think there is someone who open up their eyes. That is what I think.
Very good. Okay, can you do that in 2 minutes? You know, when you are actually, I don't know whether many of you will be actually dais, will be talking. Maybe you're standing, Maybe you'll be standing there with all the, risalah to be given out, okay? People are just going by. Why should they stop and listen to you? Why? That's why I put there 2 minutes. And 2 minutes is very long. It's usually less than 2 minutes. So in that seconds, you have to grab their attention. And I like that you need to be a friend. You need to become an approachable person. A young man, sports. I don't know, maybe he's a Liverpool fan. I don't know, talk about the two Muslim players. Maybe. So that's an idea. Okay, so we have 3 minutes more. Sisters, are you okay? Dah ada idea? Dah ada idea belum? Okay, who will speak? One of you speaks. Will you be speaking? You will be speaking? You see, they volunteered you. What is important to a woman? What? Okay, is human rights important to a woman and a mother? Because this lady is 40 years old and she's a woman and a mother. I mean, a woman and mother. Mother and wife, sorry. Mother and a wife. So what is important to her? Children. Children are important to her because she's a mother. Okay, now, how do you get the message across? Thinking about her children. You're speaking, right? I don't know, also. 2 minutes. Okay, 1 minute. Please, who is going to be speaking? Who is the spokesperson? Huh? Okay, no, actually, no, you just sit there and sit. So you can have two spokesmen if you like. Yeah? Okay, half a minute. Say something, it's okay. Okay, time out. Do we start with the brothers first or the sisters? Oh, lama. Okay. Okay, brothers. Please stand up. Who? Both of you are going to say? Both of you? Okay. It doesn't necessarily have to be answers, particularly answers to this. I just want to know your thinking process. Okay? That to me is important. Okay, please, who would like to speak? Speak first? Okay, please.
So,
Sisters, listen, please.
so we are approaching a young man who's a student. He's a practicing Catholic and he is mostly hostile. When he approached him, he just out
Yes, yes, yes.
so I think we need to know what is important
Mhm.
before even speaking of Islam. Coming out as we should just right? So how the person is very, very old. And yeah, so I think maybe we speak about sports first. And maybe small match just happened a few days ago or something, right? This kid that kind of intention just be friends for the very few seconds or few minutes. And once the conversation starts, that means you have got a rapport with him. Then I think you can just introduce yourself and who you are, and because you already know that, right? You can say that, maybe, can I know a little bit from you what you think about Islam? So
Mhm.
don't say anything more. Just tell what you think about Islam. I think from there, and then once you know how the waters are, or how whether you can penetrate further, then I think you have to escalate thereafter, and then
Okay, good. So the point there is to have that rapport, to establish that rapport, and it's not a very easy thing to do. Yeah. So establish rapport. Thank you, brother. Would you like to continue? Salam. Mhm. 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 Okay, so the second point here is to find some common ground is one, but also to show interest in him, in the other person. Beware that, I mean, it's good, of course, to show interest in the other person because the other person feels that you're getting to know him, which is also good. But beware because your own knowledge of Islam has got to be top, top, okay? Before you actually start going into areas of faith, issues of faith, because he may bring up something which you may not be able to, uh, put it in the Islamic perspective. So I would try to find, what interests him as well, but I would probably at an early stage not go so much into Islam, but maybe try to go into other general fields first. Later, if he gives you more time, he has more trust, then you can maybe try to bring in a little bit, about Islam. Okay, thank you, brothers. Sisters, were you going to be speaking? Or, yeah, okay, please. Okay. Your second point is probably the better way to do it, to go through the children. Now, any mother, any grandmother, you give them a chance to talk about their children or their grandchildren, mati lah. You know, they will just go on and on and on. Okay? So, that is the way to speak to a mother. If you see, so if she's coming maybe with children, your first thing would be, oh, he's so cute. Oh, she's so cute. What's her name? What's her, his name? And then that's how you establish that initial rapport. You break down the barrier. I'm a mother, just like you. Just because I wear a hijab, I'm still a woman just like you. You establish that bond, and then you can start to go on from there. Because then you are not seen as the other person, a stranger, somebody who is living a lifestyle which, I don't know, I really don't care about. You're just a mother. So that's where the idea of commonality comes in, looking for that common ground. And as I always say during the trainings, if you reach somebody's heart, you reach their mind. Because very often because we're human beings, we act according to our emotions. We act according to how we feel about the other person. So go to the heart, reach the mind. Okay, thank you. Now, I would just suggest that you just keep in this group, but I don't know, brother, if you want to turn, so that we can actually go back to this. Now, I don't know who this person is. I just took it from the internet. But obviously, even for us in Malaysia, yeah, and never mind about in the United States and Canada and UK, even for us in Malaysia, when you see this, what impression do you get, the picture? What impression do you get of this person? Anybody? Huh? Okay, fine. A real man. Okay, that's fine. Okay, terrorist. What other words come to your mind when you... Fundamental Muslim. Some more? Huh? Fear. Okay, some more? Any other words that come to your mind? Handsome? Handsome is fine. Okay, I wouldn't have said handsome, but okay. Okay, one more word. Any other word? Okay. See, the thing is, a lot of people, when they see this, they'll be thinking, okay, well, obviously the guy is Muslim. Yeah? What kind of Muslim? Fundamentalist, like brother was saying there, the right. Because we are Muslims, we don't have that immediate shutter coming down. Pom. If you are not Muslim and you see this person, would you ever go up to this person? Obviously not. So we come to physiological barriers. Physiological is to do with your body, your stance. You can, without knowing it, you can come across as hostile. Your stance alone can come across as aggressive. You may not know it. Then we come to emotional and cultural. So you think this guy, there's no commonality with him and me. I mean, what can he possibly have in common with my life, with my world? And I'm talking as a non-Muslim. Huh? If a non-Muslim comes to him, what could he possibly have in common with me? So the emotional and the cultural, out already. The language, well, does this guy even speak English? I don't know. I actually watched some YouTube's last week, YouTube videos. And there were some people in London, in Oxford Street, and they had these tables where they had all the materials. Some of them actually did look like this, but you know, when they spoke, it was British English. So I don't know. Sometimes when they're speaking the British English, you think, oh, they're actually English. They were actually brought up in this country like me, but then they look like that, and you can't reconcile the two. So before you actually, this is one of the first barriers, which is that first impressions count. You have to look as if you're somebody that I would not mind coming up to and speaking. Otherwise, please keep away from me. I don't want to go near you. So the barrier thing, yeah? I'm not saying, you guys look very nice. Very nicely turned out. I wouldn't mind coming up to, except for that person in green lah. But other than that, okay? I'll tell you later what's wrong. Okay, then in this country, specific to this country is, this is very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Islam is the message. But for somebody to receive that message, these are again negative perceptions. Now, I don't want to tell you of course you know what's going on this week, right? Especially this week, right? So let's not go into that. Yeah, my timing is perfect actually. So the link to the politics and the perceived unfairness, it so happened that it's this week. Now, can you imagine what non-Muslims must be thinking? Can you imagine? Okay, so let's not go into that, okay? Because I know this is being recorded. So now, this other thing, masuk Melayu or masuk Islam? Which is the correct one? Masuk Islam. But in this country, it's what? Masuk Melayu. So masuk Melayu means, what happened to my family tradition of ancestor worship? What? It's because I dah masuk Melayu, means I cannot do that anymore. So how will my parents feel? So this Islam equating to Malay is very wrong. There are, of course, all races in this world who are Muslims. Unfortunately, in Malaysia, it's become one and the same. Now, misdeeds by Muslims, again, I don't have to tell you how many there are in this country. Again, I know it's being recorded, so let's not go into that. There's so many misdeeds. And of course, the big C, the corruption thing, is floating around somewhere, right? Again, can you imagine how the non-Muslims must be thinking, especially when sometimes they are, when I talk about politicians, they're caught for, let's say, they're charged with corruption. They straight away go to Mecca, do the Umrah, and come back. Another one charged with corruption. Go to Mecca, do the Umrah, and come back. Go to the mosque and swear. What do you think the non-Muslims are thinking? What kind of religion is this? You talk so much. 5 times a day praying, this one kafir, that one kafir. But you do these things which Allah has forbidden you to do, and yet you go and swear in the mosque, and then you go to Umrah like 5-6 times a year. Tak ada meaning lah. Okay, so this is negative perceptions. And then haram. Itu haram, ini haram, Valentine haram. What did I hear? Was it the Mufti of Egypt was saying Valentine boleh? No, Saudi. Valentine's Day, you can celebrate, no problem. In Saudi, okay, here haram. You say sini haram, sana tak haram. Can't you guys make up your mind? Okay. Does the non-Muslim know different mazhab? The non-Muslim things? You guys are just Muslims, what? What is the, why, you can't even agree amongst yourselves? What kind of religion is this? So these are really relevant negative perceptions here specific in this country. Okay, this one I find, the top one, this the lack of eye contact, I find this to be very, I don't know, sometimes it's also because of our cultural upbringing. See, when a woman speaks to a man, then you're like, you're looking down and all that. Or man speaks to a woman, you're looking this way and all that. The lack of eye contact in this kind of environment, maybe we understand it. But if you are talking to somebody who is not from this culture, and you are speaking, let's say, brother, you are speaking to a young, attractive Caucasian woman who is not Muslim, are you going to go around like this? No. Eye contact. Why is eye contact important? Why? Sincerity. It shows that I want to connect to you. I'm sincere about it. I'm not being evasive. Okay, so the eye contact is something which is very important. And sometimes I used to tell my staff, some of them who had a problem with it, go to the mirror and just look at yourself in the mirror. Just stare at yourself in the mirror. Get comfortable with the fact that, there's something looking back at you. There's an image there. Become comfortable with it. It's not easy sometimes when you're holding a conversation. You're saying, but brother, do you understand what Tawheed actually means? Brother, you understand what Tawheed actually means? Doesn't work. Confidence. Like the eye contact comes with confidence. Okay, then sometimes because we are so, we have to talk about so many things in Islam. We only have 1 minute, 2 minutes. It all comes out. At the end of it, after 1 minute or so, they have shut off. Too much. You're giving them too much. Pick one message. Focus on that one message. You have a better chance than you trying to give Rukun Islam, this and that, and why. Forget it. One message. Now, I think what is relevant to most of us here is, if we say, let's pick one message, what is Tawheed? How do I explain Tawheed? Just one. And I'm not necessarily asking you tonight, because actually we don't have time. If this is an actual workshop, then yes, you would go into your groups and you would think about it. How do I explain Tawheed? I tell you, it's not easy. Somebody who's brought up with many gods, suddenly you're telling me Tawheed. How to explain it? But please, after tonight, go back, try to work it out in your mind. How do I explain Tawheed? So that next time when I speak to people, I know what I'm going to say. I'm not looking for words. Okay? Then, the talking too much goes together with that just now. Yeah, when you're talking to somebody, when they are listening to you or seeming to listen to you, but actually in their mind, they're already thinking of what to reply. So you are talking and they are looking at you, but already, okay, she's saying this or he's saying this. Okay, my reply is this, pop. And then so it's not a proper listening. Listening means I'm quiet. I'm listening. Brother, what are you telling me? I'm listening to you. Your face, your tone, your language, I'm listening to you. That is listening. But it's not like I'm hearing you and I'm trying to show that I know better. Boom. I come back with something which I think is very smart. Okay, so don't do that. the whole skill of listening is actually another workshop that I did just on listening. You'll be surprised how difficult it is for people to listen. And listen means not only to the words, listen, everything. Okay, then trying too hard also can go into it. Sometimes you can come across as desperate. You want to get the message across and then you are like, oh, and that desperation is just like, okay, brother, are you married? No. If you had a girl who is interested in you and she keeps calling you 10 times a day, okay? What would you say? What would you think? You'll be turned off. You know why it's like, yeah, so desperate lah. Don't try so hard. Relax. Get your message across. What is Tawheed? Enough. That's it. If you're interested, please let me know. I'll be here this time of the day, or this is my phone number. Please call me. That's it. But don't be desperate and start becoming aggressive and start giving them too much. Don't turn people off. Okay, lack of passion is the opposite of that. Brother, what is Tawheed? What? Again, you're turning people off. You must have the passion. Why is the passion? Because you believe in what you say. You believe in the message that you are giving, therefore you have the passion. Okay, so the passion is an important thing. Now, this is something which I found very interesting from looking at some of the YouTubes, which is that street dawah simply means that you are standing there, with your table, and then people are passing by, and you're trying to get their attention. It's very difficult, street dawah. It's one of the most difficult things, I think, to actually get their attention when they're passing by. Excuse me. Very difficult. Now, assuming that you have already got them to say hello back to you, you need to see then what kind of audience is this, friendly, indifferent, hostile. You need to actually have that instinct where you look at them and you look at the way that they're holding their body. Okay, this one is a bit hostile. Oh, this one ada chan lah sikit, for them to listen. So you need to pick up these things very quickly. So your own attitude has got to be friendly and approachable, but at the same time, you do need to anticipate what that person is going to ask you. Salam. So anticipate whether they're going to give you difficult challenges, difficult questions. Then when they give you difficult questions, you're like, if you don't know, simply say, I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure about this, but if you give me your phone number, I will make sure that you get the information that you need. Or this is my colleague can give you a better. Don't try to cover it up if you don't know the answer. Okay, the humor is something we use to make ourselves look approachable, feel approachable, be approachable. Humor is something which is, when you look at Obama, I like actually watching Obama speak. First of all, he's quite a handsome guy, yeah? Okay, I mean, you must see. But I like it because he is a master communicator. He pauses at the right times. He says the right words. He has passion. He also, at certain times, uses humor. So, where this humor came about, Donald Trump was getting on him because Donald Trump said he is not an American born. He is actually born in Hawaii. So, Obama at that time was speaking to crowds. And in the crowds, there were people sections of people who were holding up banners, "Go back to Africa, because you were not born in America." Okay? Now, how did he overcome that? And it's the same thing with all of you as well, because you will need to overcome some negative perceptions. Try to deal with it with humor. What he said was, now, do you all know the Lion King? Yeah, the Lion King. You know when Simba was born? When he was born, and then his father, Mufasa, was there, and then I forgot the mother's name. When he was born, the baboon, and I forget the baboon's name, he held up Simba. Okay? So Obama played that particular video clip, to say that, okay, come on lah, I was born in America. If you don't believe me, look what Simba, this Simba is me. So he's like putting it in the sense of the Lion King, and then people were like laughing about it, and then the tension is broken. Try to find some kind of humor if you can, so that people again find you approachable. But if you don't do humor well, please don't do it, because you can fall flat. Okay? And then you speak the same language. Now, language here does not necessarily mean English, Malay, Chinese. Language also means emotion, emotional language, cultural language, certain things that people say when you feel at ease. That's also language. It's not necessarily the language as in English and Malay. Storytelling is anecdotes. Anecdotes makes people feel more at ease with us. For example, the thing about the lady, yeah, when you say, oh, you want to have that rapport with the lady, you say, oh, what a cute little boy, how old is he, he's 5 years old, for example. And then your anecdote might be something like, oh, I have a son as well who is 5 years old. Do you know when he was 5 years old, he went to this school and, he was bullied and, I was so upset. And that whole story means that I want to tell you a little bit about myself, and I want to make myself approachable. I want to bring you into my life. See me as a human being. See me as a woman. Okay, that's the idea of having that storytelling. And always be calm, be tactful, especially with the hostile crowd. You're not going to find, you're definitely going to find people who are not going to be polite to you. Be calm, be tactful. Thank you for your time. Gone. No need to fight, no need to argue. Okay? We have spoken about the common ground. Now, do you want to bring up Jesus, Son of God? Please don't. Please don't. Unless you know how to talk about Jesus being the Son of God, fine. Otherwise, please don't touch that, because that is a minefield. Okay? Then controlling the flow of discussion means, and again, I've watched some of the YouTubes, So the Muslim starts off talking about, do you know what the Quran is, for example? And then that person replies, and then that person starts to talk about the Bible or whatever other thing, and trying to hijack your discussion away. Bring it back. Bring it back to the Quran. Try to always bring it back. It hijacked again. Bring it back again. Try. If you keep trying, but of course, understand that there is a time limit. Don't keep on doing it when it's obviously not going to go anywhere. But try to bring it back to the idea that you are trying to talk about, rather than let it be hijacked. Okay, now, stick to the issue is one that we have spoken about, and leave your ego. There are some people who, and I should not again mention names, but there are some people who carry out da'wah and you will see them on YouTube. I don't necessarily like the manner in which they convey their da'wah. The message, no problem. The knowledge, no problem. But the manner in which it is done, being too aggressive, you know, somebody stands up to ask you a question, and then you're trying to show that I know all the verses, I know all the surahs, you know. So I think some of you may guess who I'm talking about, all right? So I know all the verses, I know all the surahs, so I'm going to say, so this surah, that surah, this verse, that blah, 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 okay? I'm going to tell you all that. And then at the end of it, I'm asking you, so, brother, you want to convert? And you are like, I'm stuck, I don't know, I'm not sure. You want to convert, brother, you want to convert? You are being overly aggressive. You know, I'm not necessarily, and I'm very careful to say that, I'm not saying that this is an ego thing, but what I'm saying is that it could be perceived as an ego thing. So if you say, I'm not sure whether I want to convert. No, brother, were you not listening to my explanation? Why don't you convert? And then the crowd can make you feel a bit frightened, you know. Because of the crowd, you may say to yourself, yeah, I will convert. So you convert, and then the whole hall will go, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, all this. You go out the door, what? What happens after that? You go home, you resume your former life. Escape, okay? So I think this is just something that you just need to be very careful. Be persuasive, but don't be aggressive, because it doesn't work. Okay, this is something which I feel sometimes is much more impactful than standing on the street corner speaking about da'wah. Okay? If you show that you are a human being, if you show that you share somebody's problems, Muslim, non-Muslim, does not matter. I share your problem, I feel your pain. I want to help you. I am human. Don't be frightened of me, although I wear a hijab. I'm like you. So, what you do is, you can do a lot of these things, and I'm sure many of you can think of other things where you can show that you are as human as the other person who is not Muslim. You can do it. So these are some things. I really like actually this one, 2 and 3. These two I like, which is visiting the sick, because yesterday a friend of mine was taken to hospital because she had a minor stroke. So I was like, calling the daughter. I said, no, what's happening? So, and then I told a friend of hers. My friend is Catholic. So I told a friend of hers that she's in hospital. Immediately the message came back, I will get my prayer group to pray. And father, I forget the name now, the father will be at the hospital tomorrow. He goes every day to the hospital. You tell me, where are the Muslim imams and muftis and bilal? Where are they? Do they go to the mosque do they go to the hospital every day? Every day? Do they? The priest goes there every day, Visiting the sick is something that we as Muslims don't do well. Okay? Similarly, prisoners. I was speaking to another friend, because this is a previous job that I had where we dealt with prisoners. I know for a fact that the Buddhist group and the Christian groups, they go to the prisons, if not every day, 3 times a week, they will go to the prisons. Where are the Muslims? They don't go. They don't go. Well, once in a while when they go is during Ramadan, and then oh, big photo opportunity, and that's it. Okay, so another thing will be the free legal aid at the counseling. Do you know how many Muslims, poor Muslims, cannot afford legal help? Cannot afford. Where are the Muslims lawyers, those who understand about Sharia? Where are they? Why are they not helping our people? Okay, now, this one I'm talking about being a good neighbor as well. When you are a good neighbor, people see you as not just a Muslim, but as a person. So if you are a good person, I perceive you as a good person. You know what? I don't mind sitting down with you and having a cup of tea and listening to your religion. I don't mind, because if your religion teaches you to behave this way, well, it seems okay, isn't it? I don't mind listening to you. So that, to me, is a very effective form of da'wah. Be the example. You be the example. You are the message. You. The message must come from you. Okay, so I feel very strongly that this is one of the best ways, in fact. Okay, this one is just something we already late. Okay, this is just something I just got from the communication theory, which is here, 1, 2, 3 is where we want to be when we want people to listen to us. This one is physiological. Eat water, food. I have water, I have food. This is fine. That need is done. I have safety. That need is done. I need social needs. I need to have friends. I need to have relationships. I need to feel good about myself. And then when I have all this, I reach to the top, which is that I live my best life. Now, again, in terms of your, if you are going to be a da'i, for example, yeah, you need to try to come up, fulfill these needs in non-Muslims. Again, I come back to social needs. We Muslims are bad at social needs. We Muslims are bad at reaching out to non-Muslims to make them feel that we care about them, that we are as human as them. So here, if you can do that with the non-Muslims, they will be more open to listening to you. Sorry, we are very late, I think. We are late now, yeah? Okay, so this is my last thing. These are some of the questions which, again, when I was listening to the YouTube, be very careful, You must have that knowledge before you attempt to even answer these questions. If you ask me, I can't answer these questions because, I'm not trained in giving these answers. But if you are going to go out and speak to people, you need to explain. Why did the Prophet marry a child, a 9-year-old? What? He was a pedophile or what? I hear this a lot, I read this a lot. Okay, and I'm sure you will come up with more questions. Okay, last one. This is my last one, brother. Okay? This is true, right? Hidayah comes from God, right? If you're not ready to hear the message, you will never hear it. Okay, thank you so much for your attention and your time. Thank you.
For your sharing. I think we learned a lot. Yeah, even I myself, so many things that I get from learn from what you have shared just now, mashallah. I hope maybe next time we can do one day course of training with you, inshallah. Yeah, just a little bit of information. The thing is, what the book one is the relationship with non-Muslim. Even while you are talking about about a lot, my brother. Well, just now you